Consider that Dexter has made an inquiry to me related to the coaching, and the Dexter has some kind of goal in the mind which he wants to achieve through this coaching assignment, right? So with this, Dexter has approached me, right? And now I am talking to the Dexter. This is our second conversation. The first conversation was a few minutes where the Dexter made an inquiry that is okay, I am Dexter and this is what is I am desiring, and I got your reference from XYZ person, and I understand that you are a coach and you are in a position to help me, support me, right? So then I said to Dexter, okay, Dexter, no problem. We will have a proper discussion, and we set a 30-minute time for a Zoom call. And now we are into that particular meeting. Okay. So let us start this particular conversation wherein we will focus on a chemistry session. That is okay. What a coach should discuss with the potential client. Right now, Dexter is not my client. This is only lead. This is only inquiry, right? We are yet to sign an agreement of coach and coachee. So this is a free-flowing conversation to understand each other better. So yes, Dexter, good morning.
Morning, sir.
Yeah. So Dexter, so after our conversation, you had sent me your test results. So I already have your test results of the behavioral profile, and your behavioral profile is SI. So I already have it with me. So the SI means you are a people-oriented person, and you take a careful decision making, as well as you have a creative mindset, and you have innate ability to influence people. So, and you are an empathetic person. So these are the analysis of this particular behavioral profile. Of course, we will discuss your profile in detail in our subsequent conversation. Then I also went through your life purpose test results, and your life purpose test results is core DNA is conversationalist, which is basically a coach. So you have this ability to engage into intense conversation with the other person, and you do have those communication and the conversational intelligence, right? So which are means I must say a big strengths for a professional like you. I also have undergone your test results of the values and the strengths, wherein spirituality, family, these are your values. And in strengths, you are empathetic, strategic, right? Also, you are you think about the people before taking any decision, and your decision making is very thoughtful and deliberate, right? So this information is already with me. So thank you for submitting your test results to me. So Dexter, so from this particular coaching assignment, what is the expectation you are having? That is, what result you are looking from this particular coaching engagement, what we can have?
Well, Hemant, sir, the main reason of asking for a coach is basically for me to to find out more to how to capitalize on my strengths, number one, and also to build value for myself as an effective leader. And I have goals of setting up my own companies that would help people in the future. So this is some of the areas I wanted to I wanted a coach to help me to achieve these kind of goals. I've been trying it for a long time, and somewhere down the line I get lost here and there. And I'm looking for a professional coach to basically help me to understand myself better, and how to move ahead.
Okay, so I hear the three important phrases in your narration. The first is you want to utilize your strengths. The second is you want to build companies. And the third is you want to understand yourself better. So we will go to these three things one by one, so that I understand your intent clearly. So the first is you want to capitalize on your strengths. So can you please reiterate your top two strengths to me, along with some example that is okay, why you think these are your strengths?
Okay, my top two strengths, one is steadiness and influence. Steadiness, reason of my top strength being steadiness is what I think out of the the answers I've given. It's more in terms to do of my family background, where I'm coming from. I've had a steady family background, and I have a very humongous family. And I kind of somehow make sure I keep myself available to take care of everybody, as much as I can. Uh, so that's where I think steadiness comes, is technically from how I've been brought up as a person, and I kind of carry that forward with my children, my family members, my office, my colleagues, my professional life. Influence is coming from, I think influence is more to do with, I think, has my professional life, the reason of my professional life in it, because I've been, when I started working, I kind of, I used to do sales. I used to be a seller, but for some reason, how I've moved into team leading and leadership was because of my own intuition. I found my team was not being given the help. Um, there were managers available, but
Mm.
I found that they were not being giving a help. They were just giving instructions. And even though I was top of my batch, I was able to earn a lot of money by just taking care of myself and my sales. I kind of walked up to my CEO and I said, listen, I think I want to help these guys. I'll move away from sales, but give me a project to help these people. And if you give me an incentive, if all of these guys can be helped.
Mm.
It was my first project,
Mm.
and I kind of, I had 12 members in the team, and all 12 members have hit their targets. So ever since that, I've kind of been very influential in helping teams and people to move together, like to, help them to understand. It's not like having somebody number one and somebody number 10. It is more about having everybody being number one. And the more closer we close the gap,
Mm.
the more better it is. So from that on time onwards, I kind of put myself out there to help people, to influence people to have a better thought process. So I think that's where influence has come into my life, and also I practice that with my family members. So yeah.
Mm. Mm. Excellent. So your top strengths are steadiness, people orientation, understanding people, and influencing people positively to extract best from them. And this you have already done within your organization. So you have the proof of this particular strengths, that these are your real operating strengths. So fantastic. So I understand that. Now, uh, can you please let me know that is what you mean by building companies? That is what exactly is in your mind?
So building companies in senses, I have my own ambitions
Mm.
and my own passions that I want to indulge in. And I say indulge in is, I have, for example, I want to basically build companies that not just helps the employees over there, but it more has a major impact on customers, on
Mm.
the world outside.
Mm.
For a simple example is I've been in travel industry for a long time.
Mm.
I've done luxury, I've done leisure. Those are just the common reasons of travel.
Mm.
But I'm looking at more in terms of having an impact with travel, having
Mm.
making travel have an impact on the young. Like right now, I see a lot of youngsters who go out. They have habits which I know for a fact is not going to help them in their life. So it is more about giving a travel experience that actually helps them to understand life a little better, understand to
Mm.
have balance. For example, you travel for a holiday to go, and there are many reasons why you would go for a holiday: to relax, to tune out. But I have, my ambition is more to, say for example, you go on holiday, you go to learn how to surf, you go learn how to do a yoga session, you go to inspire yourself and come back. So for me, that is one sector. Then I have many sectors that I've built, which I have a lot of ambitions in, that I want to have these part of my life, because I find that there is more giving in that than taking. So that is, having companies is, I've already finished my, I know how to lead people, I know how to manage people, I kind of effective in that way. So building a company out of that would be great.
Yeah. So you mean to say you want to build your own company who will basically provide unique experience, life learning to the youngsters, and there will be different segments of that particular company or different experience package. Okay, if you are looking for this kind of experience, so this is the package for you and all that, wherein you will be the owner of the company.
Yeah.
Okay. So fantastic. And I think in travel, as you said, because I'm also reflecting my own experience with the travel companies. So they basically focus on the destination and leisure part and the costing and the sightseeing. So with every travel company I have interacted, I have always experienced, they are talking about that. Barring one company, which is called as Experience and Company, which is called as BHX. So they talk about a very different concept wherein they are calling founders. So there are founders. So it's a say a group for the founders, and the founders go there and they discuss about their businesses, ideas, startups, and all that, and they learn from each other. So now it becomes a very intense experience-oriented learning forum, which also has a leisure and enjoyment. So it's a combination of the learning and leisure is what you are talking about. So that is only one example I'm having in my life. But what you said, that is, you have a different ideas of this. So this looks very exciting and interesting to me. And you already have, say, 14 years of experience in the travel industry, and you have this capability to motivate and develop your team members who can really take care or own these kind of separate experience packages. So it looks very say exciting to me. Okay, so thank you for sharing this to me, and I think it has a great potential. The third part of in your narration, you said that you would like to understand yourself more. So what do you means what do you mean by this?
Um, so over my, I could say my life journey, sir, I've tried to do everything right. Tried to be, do things in the right way. However, for some reason, I've not capitalized on myself. Yeah. In other words, for example, in my professional environment, I had the opportunity of saying that this is what I want. Otherwise, I want to move. But, I was lucky to have leaders. Like I had my managing director or my leader has been with me for the last 15 years.
Mm.
So when I was growing up from a salesperson to a manager to a senior manager to a general manager, I had never, and I know the fault is mine, I've never said, this is what I want if you want me to continue. It was always, I left the trust to my leaders. I left the trust to them saying, okay, you show me the way, or, you guide me, you tell me what is enough. And today, I think, I could definitely be more valued to myself and my family. Yeah, I could work more on that area. And um, so I think, identifying my strengths, and not just identifying my strengths, but technically seeing how my strengths can generate more for myself and my family and for people around me. Yeah, because money is something which is I've not put on the top of my list. It was not for money that I did what I did. It was more for the experience, because of course learning is a continuous process. And I think now, I would like to move into, to use my experience, use my learnings to, value myself more, to increase my value more. So yeah, that is one of the reasons, when I say to understand myself better is where do I stand and how do I move, with understanding where I stand, how do I move forward?
Yeah. So you mean to say that in your career experience, you have identified that some things you could have done better, and now moving forward, you would like to understand that is how you can bridge that particular gap and how you can utilize your strengths in achieving your dream of building companies offering unique travel experience to your clients, which is not only related to the leisure, but it is also integrating the life aspect for you, right?
Yes.
Okay. So in this particular coaching assignment, right? So what you are looking for means at the end of this particular coaching assignment, what we will have, what will be the end goal in your mind? If that will happen, you will feel that yes, our coaching engagement is successful. I'm talking about the long-term coaching assignment, not today, but if we enter into an engagement of coaching, what will be the goal of that particular assignment?
I think it is more in terms of having trying to understand a set process to build more confidence.
Mhm.
Yeah. Um, I think having more confidence and leaving a lot of baggage behind of why it cannot be possible. Yeah, it is more about looking forward more clearly, with more trust in myself. So I mean, that's what a coach does. That's my assumption of what a coach does, is to help me to have full focus on my goals and to move forward with them. So yes, if it is achieved, I think it would not just building the company, but more in terms of making sure that I have the confidence to do all of that. Yeah, it's very important, because one of the main reasons is I don't come from a business oriented family, Hemant sir. So for me, my parents are like my father, or my entire family are very love, togetherness is all very high. Money has never been high, because the belief system is very simple, ki money is the root of all evil. But today, as an adult, I know that money is a very important tool in our lives. It is not the root of all evil. It depends on how we use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So breaking those chains of my entire family, of and moving into the zone which I think I want to, and not holding old beliefs in my head, is something which I really want to move towards.
What else?
I think also from a personal perspective, you know it is more about I definitely want to, I have a very simple um, I would say rule which I follow. you know Once I learn things, I'd like to also share those things with others. Yeah, I think keeping knowledge in oneself is absolutely pointless. And through this whole journey of mine, I want to be a constant learner, number one, and also want to be able to empower others to also move into that line of thinking. Because being in the industry for so many years, I can tell you that uh, Indian management and leadership sometimes disappoints me, because there's a lot of politics, there's a lot of favoritism, and my companies, I don't allow any of that. Yeah, it is more of a, we have to be free from all those chains, and then only great things can be done.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's more of, as a coach, that is my values. Can I move those values forward? Because, I don't want to be restricted by politics, favoritisms. These are all areas which is, I think, pointless, and it's not good for companies. Yeah. And I want to be able to have put my thought process, my values, what I've learned, and be successful. Most important is to be successful in that. It may not, no matter how small, it doesn't really matter, or how big, but I want to definitely move that forward and help many people, as many as I can. I wouldn't say many, but as many people as I can, to follow those kind of not follow those values, but to instill those values in them,
Yeah.
and help them also be successful.
So what I understand, that you have some management leadership ideology, that is okay, this is how uh, one should lead, making an impact on people and the society. And you think that when you will create your company, you have the ability to share your learnings and the ideologies with your team members more effectively, and creating a company who adds value to its all stakeholders, whether it is your employees or clients or the society at large, is what a larger picture I am understanding from what you are saying. Is my understanding right, or you want to add modify it a bit?
Yes, it is. And also, end goal should be is to get freedom for myself, to live
Correct.
a very sustainable life.
Yeah. So ultimately, you as an individual want to be successful. You want to be in a position to do things what you love to do
Yes.
while becoming successful.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So I'm clear on the coaching assignment goal, and I think we can surely work together on this particular goal, and we should be in a position to achieve this goal together. So generally, my uh, coaching assignment is over the period of 6 months, wherein we will meet each fortnight. So there will be 12 sessions in this particular 6 months time. Every alternate week, we will meet online for 1 hour duration. It will be generally a Zoom call, and it will be the recorded call, but the conversation will remain confidential between you and me. The recording of the call will be never be shared with any other party unless you explicitly ask so. It is up to you. From my side, I'm never going to share this recording to anyone. So this and why this particular 6 months assignment? Because you are talking about building confidence, understanding yourself better, having more clarity on the creating the companies, having more clarity and a plan, a chart for you becoming a successful in the area of your love, in the area of your expertise. So there are variety of the aspects. So you want to become successful while doing what you love, but there are many sub goals in this particular assignment which will take time. So I think that a reasonable time could be, and depending upon our conversation, we can make it early, or we might have to increase the number of sessions. Right now we don't know, but based on what I understand from you, 6 months and the 12 sessions looks say apt to me. What do you think about this? So is this what you are looking for, or you want something else?
I think it's a fair, uh, you know, analysis in terms of it being 6 months. Because of course, if it would take any time sooner, I don't think my goals or anything are good enough. 6 months, I think, gives me a good time um, to go back and kind of understand where am I heading. Things might change in between also. My goals also might change in between. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I think 6 months gives me a good enough time to I think it's a good target. It's a
Okay.
good. So yeah, I think I agree with you, Hemant.
Thank you. So, one last question from me to understand our coaching assignment better and its impact better. So, how you value this particular result? For example, if you have a game plan or a strategic action plan in place at the end of the 6th month, wherein you embark on the journey of becoming successful in the area of your love, and you will be in a position to actually execute your plan of creating a different experience packages, and start say planning forming your own organization. If this is the result what you are looking for at the end of 6 months, if I ask you what is the value you assign to this particular result, that is how your life will be different if you achieve this. And if I have to just hypothetically ask you, if you have to quantify this particular result in terms of money and in terms of other than money, how you would like to quantify this result? Okay, if this will happen, I will see that, means hypothetically I can see that, okay, it is valuable to me from this money perspective, and it is valuable from me other than the money perspective. So can you share some light on this?
In terms of value from a money perspective, is again, yes, it depends on how feasible it is and how people would take it. But I think it would be more. My value would be in terms of you know respect for myself and my ideas and my vision and my goals, and and sharing. I mean, it being successful would be like many people share the kind of vision or share the kind of and I think it's more in terms of respect for my ideology,
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think I would value the most, and that would help me not just to end things over there just with one company. It might be that I, would want to do much more other things with that kind of ideology, which I think is more of respect of respect to myself, not from an outer perspective, but it's for me respecting my own ideology. Otherwise, normally you're sitting around with ideas and you don't, you know, ideas are always there,
Yeah.
but it is more about when you have a company starts to grow and become successful, it is successful because of the ideologies that have been put in, the kind of goals that have been put in. It's not going to be easy, it's going to be difficult, but
Yes.
I think it would help me to set my bar next to
Correct.
say, okay, where else can I go now?
Yeah. So I understand your non-monetary aspiration of putting your ideology in practice and taking the company to the next level at a right management and the leadership level, and create that particular experience for your clients and employees. So this is the non-monetary goal. So to just establish some kind of monetary goal, I would like to understand, for example, if you establish this kind of company with this kind of different experience packages from your customer, what could be the company turnover, say revenue generation per annum? Because I understand that this will be the service industry, right? So in this kind of services, what is the approximate estimated annual revenues of this organization? It means I'm just asking the off the hat, rough estimates. Of course, it depends on the business plan and everything, but
Of course.
what
As,
it could be?
as per the estimations, it's more about say around 20 CR is the
How
annual
much,
turnover.
please?
20 CR,
20 CR. Okay,
yeah,
per annum.
is the
Yeah.
annual turnover.
Yes.
But more than that also, I think it is the experience providers also are a most important part
Yeah.
to me, because normally they are left out in this world. Yeah, is because everybody wants to just book a hotel. Hotels are
Yeah.
more famous than anything else, but it's also giving the experience providers a platform for them
Mm.
to be able to actually, where somebody comes and says, great job, what you're doing, I love what you're doing, I would like to sell you. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's more of a collective approach. So turnover of a company is one, but in other words, it's also an entire ecosystem of
Yes.
turnover, and that's limitless. We can't
Right.
really,
Exactly.
there's
So
no.
you say, although it is a 20 crore rupees turnover for you, you are generating the opportunities for so many people. So that ecosystem's revenue is much higher.
Infinite, yeah.
Infinite. So if it's a 20 crore turnover for your own organization, what could be the per annum profit in this 20 crore? Because you are in service, right? So most of the money will go to the hotels and your partners. So what could be the net profit for you, as per you estimated?
So per year, first year, it'll be around 10-15%. And then
10-15% means you are talking about 2 to 3 CR can be the profit potential per annum, right?
yes.
Okay. So good, Dexter. I think I am very much clear on your coaching assignment goal, and we are aligned with the logistics. I think we understand each other now, and we are a right fit for each other. I think we can continue our coaching relationship. What I will do, that is post our conversation by tonight, I will share with you a small copy of an agreement wherein there will be the clarity on how we can work together. That will include commercials as well. Go through it, right? And once you confirm me that particular agreement, we can start our coaching assignment from the next week.
Please, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. See you soon. Yeah. So if you see what I have done, I have understood him properly. I have understood his behavioral profile, and I did not take his time in he conducting the test. What I have done after my first call, I have already sent him this particular test. So before the discovery session, I was knowing Dexter. I was knowing his behavioral profile, right? So even during the discovery session, start of the discovery session, I had a good idea about the Dexter so that I can calibrate my behavior with him, right? And I started with my reflection on the results. So I was very efficient and effective with the time management of what 30-40 minutes we spent together. And I only asked him the questions which otherwise I was not doing. I did not ask him, okay, which company you are working, what is your qualification? Boss, I already know it. I already have his LinkedIn profile. He has already submitted all his tests. So I directly started with a macro level, big questions and below the waterline questions. And during the conversation, I understood him very well. I understood his aspiration. And I purposely ended the conversation with the turnover potential and the profitability potential, because when I will pitch my fees to Dexter, Dexter will not feel my fee very high, because now Dexter knows that is, if this particular coaching assignment will give him result, he will earn 2 to 3 CR per annum. So for the Dexter, paying 2 to 3 lakh rupees to be will not be a big deal. So that entire, say, thought process I could create during this particular discovery session, right? So now I would first like Rupa to share her observations on her takeaways from this particular demo of the discovery session. Because she was observing, because means compared to the Dexter and me, who were in the flow of a conversation, she is in a much better position to comment on it.
Yes, so I think what I particularly observed was that, yes, you came prepared, like, you already had a background about Dexter. That is something, I mean, although this is conversational, there was sort of a theme to it. Like, there is a theme to it to, I mean, also Dexter felt, I don't know if Dexter felt it, but a coachee would have felt comfortable that, there is the conversation starting with a foundation. So that's what I felt was a very strong thing about this conversation. It was just not a, small talk. So it had a purpose. And then there were then you kind of the probing that that okay, initially what is it that you're trying to achieve. So immediately making him talk about the achievements that he's looking at. Why is he approaching a coach? So maybe having certain vague ideas but thrashing it out, and again then going at least one level deeper, and that pauses you probably gave it, I observed, which is very important, because in the interest, when you get curious about a person when he's answering, you forget to give him the space to reflect, self-reflect while he's talking. So those pauses, I understood the importance of that pause, because you usually miss that when you're asking questions,
right?
And then so basically asking him open-ended questions, but at the same time also certain very specific questions, like what you asked at the end, that how much, quantifying the value of this both in respect of, I mean, non-monetary or non-materialistic. What is it that he's going to how does it impact his life?
Yeah.
So how that bit was very interesting, because that gives the clarity. Why am I actually going for this? And that is also that also sets a context to the the coaching process itself. So he is also clear that he may not achieve even in the 6 months. He may not start the business, but he will be on the path somewhere. I mean, I felt that in an indication for that was quite good. He's not saying that. Probably if he had said that I want to go to that 20 crore mark right within the 6 months, that would have been a sort of not a very realistic goal. So I felt that that was very subtly, but at the same time very clearly set goal, that this is what we are going to achieve.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
now you have the context, you have the idea of how you will conduct a discovery session. So you will come prepared for a discovery session. You are not going to ask name, education, profession, and the basic things. So before the discovery session, between your very first conversation with the client and the discovery session, you will complete all this particular taste and all that, and understanding, and his or her social media profile, so that you come prepared and you start with your reflections, your understanding. So that particular coachee or the client should feel, oh my God, this coach knows about me and he is interested in my candidature. So it establishes connection immediately at the start. Then I was absolutely curious about what he wants, why he wants, right? And he was free flowing, right? He was discussing, right? So this free flow possible because there was a connection and it was natural, right? I was not following any technique or something like that, mirroring, matching, this, that, nothing was happening, right? We were talking very naturally, and during the conversation he got more clarity on what exactly he wants. right? And then finally he could future pace. He could also say, imagine, okay, if I do this, what could be the tangible and the intangible benefits, right? So that also he could understand. Also, we discussed on the logistics, right? We discussed on the number of sessions, we finalize that, right? And frequency, the type session, the confidentiality clause, the recording of the session. So the logistics also got discussed in this particular 30-40 minute time. So these are the pointers what I want both of you to take from the discovery session. But now I will ask Dexter as a coachee, right, as a client. Of course, now he is our student and this was a demo and all that. I fully understand. But the discussion was genuine. It was not hypothetical. It was the real thing what Dexter is looking for. So if the Dexter is looking for this real thing and he approaches a coach, and if this is a conversation coach and Dexter will have it, whether the Dexter will go for that particular coach for his assignment is what now Dexter will tell us. So the Dexter will tell us, okay, what as a coachee he felt. And if this is the conversation between the chemistry session, whether as a coachee, he will opt for that particular coaching.
So from a coachee perspective, Hemant sir, I think, the way you probed, yeah, first of all, the connection was, you asked me about my strengths. I only gave you most of the information about my strengths, about my goals. You gave me a good opportunity on how to speak about my vision or my head, what's in my head, things like that. And I think normally in situations like this, clients, before they sign a coach, this is my understanding, they would not want to give all the details of why they need a coach, yeah, because they need to establish that connection or the trust factor. But by you probing and asking for, for me to explain myself, it kind of, it felt better when I gave the information to you. You've never promised me anything. You've not said, okay, you are going to achieve it, or, being a mentor, all those areas. You just took whatever I had. And, even the way you ended it by saying, listen, I think we can help. I think I can definitely help you. It left me curious right now to see what you're going to come back with. Not the money part. I've not thought about the money yet. Yeah, I've not thought about how much it's going to cost or things like that.
Yeah.
But because I think the connection was established and you gave me more room to express myself and express my goals and reflect on myself, it actually left me with a curiosity of, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
So I think, one part of understanding what a coach does, and it's more about helping. The coachee has to do everything. The coachee has to, you have to let the coachee come up with their mindset, their ideology, and no promises to be made.
Right.
Yeah. Very, very important. And I think now it's more about reflection, going back and seeing how can we go ahead and, help this client.
I'm going to use this particular clip of our conversation for our learning purpose, because there are many learners who ask that is okay, how to really conduct this particular discovery session. And this is the first discovery session I have conducted in this particular program. So I'm going to utilize this particular clip to give understanding to all the batches, that is how to conduct a discovery session. Of course, I'm not saying this is the ideal or the perfect chemistry or discovery session, but this is the example, that is what are the do's and don'ts during this particular chemistry session, so that everyone learns that is okay. Because ultimately, after the discovery session, what the coach is looking for? The coach is looking for a contract, right? Ultimately, the coachee has to sign a contract. So the end of the discovery session should not look like pure commercial, but it should join that particular dot of commercial.